Warning! The following gameplay video was created by a scrub. If scrub gameplay disturbs you, stop the video now. Hello! I'm back, and what are you doing here? Why are you not looting back in the giant's tomb?
Oh, we need a game. How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Have a nice look at them. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
Humble, you say?
Yeah. Have you met that sunbathing Solaire? Believe me on this one, bruv. He's a complete idiot. But he happens to be an awfully strong idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side.
Yeah, so, bad news about that.
Wait, have you met Petrus? That self-proclaimed cleric? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is scum. Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics.
I mean, on one hand, he is a liar. On the other hand, he does seem like the person who would know when someone else is also scum. So, I don't know, I think that's pretty believable. So what else you got to say?
Boy, have you met Lautrec the Embraced? Believe me on this one, bruv. He's completely mad. He wouldn't think twice about cutting somebody down. So watch out for him. Especially if you've humanity to spare.
Well, what can I say? He had the right call on that one, so I guess he's probably got the right call on Petrus.
I'm done with the looting and wondrous.
So what do you got? Oh wow. Eye of Death? Really? What, humanity? Divine? How? This stuff is all ridiculously valuable. Also ridiculously expensive, but... Wait, where'd you get those? Oh, right. Let me guess. Just let me guess where you got those. And... Cleric Helm... The Cleric Talisman Mace? A Thorlund Talisman? Oh boy, Petrus would love to see that, I bet. Wouldn't be surprised if you just sort of nicked it off him when he wasn't looking. And the masks, I guess, if you really want one of those. Of course I can't afford any of that because I've already spent all my souls. And it's probably a good thing, too, because I might have wasted my money on this guy. Well, if I was in serious need for humanities, maybe it'd be a different story, but there's nothing here that I would actually want to use. So you've been mugging clerics, have you?
What? Nothing appeals to you? Well, you must have poor taste.
You're the one... You're the one who said you didn't like clerics. And when I don't want cleric stuff, that's what you say. Whatever. I'm done talking with Patches for now. Possibly forever. So let's see what Petrus has to say now that I've...
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometime.
Oh, you don't have anything to say. You did seem to have some interest in that expedition, but now that I've saved part of it, you have nothing to say? Also, it occurred to me that the way that expedition went might have been at least partially my fault. I mean, they left before I did, but still, I might have gotten the Rite of Kindling before they were able to reach it, so they thought it was further in, and then when they went into the Tomb of Giants, that might have been my bad. Yes. Also, hello. I'm glad to see you out here, finally. Man, it must have been boring down there.
Hello. The sunlight made me wince, but now I've come back to this dark hole. So what brings you here? I will help you in any way I can.
Wait, dark hole? I don't think this place even has a roof. I'm sure that being outdoors will do you some good, though. I was sort of hoping that I could talk to this guy, though. Hear his, how he feels about not having to stand around Ghost Town all day, every day. I also didn't notice before that he sold the resist curse magic, which sounds very handy to have, except I can't use it, of course. And looking at the description, it looks like this is what he uses when you ask him to help you get rid of curses as well. So you sacrifice humanity, huh? Well, I guess learning that he sold this earlier wouldn't help me, not with this build. And I think that's about all I could find all around Firelink Shrine, so let's deal with this next. I don't know what's coming up, so I might as well have the greed ring. Oh, well, don't you look familiar? Last time I couldn't damage you at all with normal attacks. I had to lure you into a fire. And well, ooh, fighting this guy in a narrow corridor seems like a very dangerous thing. Oh, and dang it, I can't backstab it anymore. It doesn't have that hilarious hole in the armor. Actually, did I backstab it the first time? Anyway, my fire... The fire does not seem to work as well as last time, and also I need to be more careful about using a two-handed weapon. Well, the idea behind this narrow corridor design where you fight a charging boar is pretty obvious, and I doubt that what I tried there would work if I had not upgraded to plus 14. But I did, so I can fight these things. Well, judging by the pitiful damage I dealt with Combustion, it looks like I wasted my money upgrading my Pyromancy Flame. My money? Well, okay, souls do serve as money. Fine. But last time I fought these guys, they did not come back after being killed. So let's hope that's still the case. And a bonfire already. This place looks very interesting. Can't do anything with the books. Is it possible my character is illiterate or just can't read whatever language these are in? Anyway, let's check to see if those armored boar things come back. Doesn't look like it. Very good news. Well, I actually had to look back at a previous video to figure out where this place was. I didn't want to go running around the entirety of Anor Londo again. Also, and I'm sorry for not mentioning this before, I didn't quite have the time, this is once again post-commentary. I forgot to fix the problem that resulted in my last video, ouch. But I fixed it right after rendering this, so the next one should be back to live commentary, as close as YouTube can get to it. So, I forgot to put away my scimitar, but this seems like a good opportunity. Well, I wanted to back off because I wanted to switch to a bandit's knife. So, can I get a critical hit on this guy? Tough to say. Whoa, okay, it definitely doesn't look like I can get critical hits on this guy. Although, judging from the look of him, he might not have any vital organs to hit critically. So maybe it's not a huge surprise. But just in case I did it wrong, because I have been known to do things wrong, I'll put the bandit knife in my gear inventory and see if I can pull it off. I also put my divine gear back in the bottomless box. I doubt there's going to be another catacombs with skeletons that are brought back by necromancers. Well, anything's possible, but probably not going to happen for 2 dungeons in a row. Alright, can I parry you? Probably can't parry that at least. And once again, my backstab failed. And again. Oh, okay, well I guess that kind of confirms it. The parry works just fine, but the riposte? No go. That means I figure I'm better off not bothering. Wait, what? Wow, you guys are really awful at blocking. My sword doesn't bounce off of them, and it guard breaks really fast. That means I can attack them pretty safely when they're not doing anything. The problem is there's an archer there, and it looks like there's something else behind it that is shiny. Yep, that is the kind of shiny that I don't like. Especially, yep, we have an archer and a caster backing him up with more ranged stuff, which is... oh, wow. Yeah. This is... I have no idea how I have survived this long. Also, that is a very impressive jump slash. Okay, well, if there's one thing in this game that I dread, it's multiple ranged attackers within line of sight of each other. And I'm assuming that you've played through the Duke's Archive, so when I say this, you're going to have full understanding that I'm in for a very bad time. Yep. We got more of those spellcasters. The one with the buff dance, which is very goofy, but it can easily lead to my death. Fortunately, this one seems to have been out of range. Also, at first I was thinking, why is the shoulder ram so damaging? But yeah, they're covered in spiky crystals, so I guess it's not such a huge mystery after all. But let's explore. Look around for shiny things. I mean, shiny things that are not enemies. Alright, moving diagonally seems to thwart those jump attacks reasonably well, as it does in many kinds of video games. Well, that is, moving to the side being a useful dodging move. But not a particularly useful item, but I guess it's less of a letdown than some kind of piece of gear that I can't possibly use. Now that's the kind of archer fight that I like. Whew, that looked pretty tricky, but hey, could be worse. Just checking around to make sure that there's nothing else that I missed. Uh-oh. And there's an archer to my back. And yeah. Probably should have gone left, huh? At least the walk back isn't too long. Oh, right. This is one of those continuity elevators. It's fine. It gives me some time to think about what I've done. It also gives me time to think about how this is, once again, a 5 fire, not a 10 fire. So, hey, I have 8 Estus flasks. I better solve that. Yeah, right. I mean, remember how I pointed out I have 33 humanities? I mean, they're not incredibly easy to find, sure, but I can. We're getting really close to the end of the game, I think, so I can afford to at least kindle sometimes, maybe. Well. It also seems like those guys might be susceptible to kicks. But they leave themselves open so often, also great reflexes is me. Anyway, so often that I don't even need to do that. So, this is a puzzle that last run I survived pretty much by winging it. So maybe I can come up with something more reliable this time. Oh, well, today I learned that jump attack has super armor to it. So when I said I shouldn't have survived that first time, it turns out I was right. And that if I want something more consistent, I'd better use more smarts. But if you've watched enough of this playthrough to understand that smarts are in rather short supply when I'm playing this game. However, I did remember that I can switch to one-handed to have a better approach. Whoa, that's not exactly what I was concerned about, but it is a nice thing to block, yes. Well, come on. Right, back to what has been giving me trouble. Archer guarded by Sorcerer. Also, blocking that magic bolt did not seem to prevent much of the damage. Well, I guess that's kind of the point of magic. Oh... yeah, I forgot. They start pouring in, don't they? running in a straight line towards the enemy does not seem to dodge the jump slash very well. Who knew? Now, it seems like being able to block and fight back seamlessly would be very useful here, and I agree. However, I did not upgrade my scimitar to plus 14, even though I picked up some Titanite chunks and I probably would have been able to farm the rest without too much of a problem. Now let's take a look at that crystal sword. Could be interesting. Not that I use straight swords, of course. But its base attack seems very impressive, and it has scaling too. Oh boy, it's one of those traditional glass swords, isn't it? I wonder how much this thing can be upgraded. Not that it's likely to be worth the trouble, but you know, could be fun. If it's powerful enough, it could be useful against a boss, maybe, if you're really confident on not dying. Wait, what? But if they can be... Why didn't my previous backstabs work? There it is again. Why didn't my riposte work? Wait, he was carrying... Okay. Well, of course he's carrying a longbow, but I thought it would be, I don't know, a crystallized longbow, even though that would make no sense. Right. This time, let's be smarter about our luring. Whoa. And also be smarter about what direction we're facing. And yep, that is an archer that's also defending the sorcerer. It's okay, we can take this guy in melee for sure. It'll be no problem. I kind of expected that guy to flinch when I hit him with that fairly powerful two-handed katana. But he did not. And he's apparently much stronger in melee than I expected. Well, part of it is probably because the buff also works on him. Also, something I didn't notice until now. Although these guys have a pretty decent amount of raw power, they're actually not good at fighting. They don't have any combo attacks at all, and they flinch a lot and they're wide open if one of their attacks doesn't work. And the reason I noticed this is because I haven't fought enemies that are quite this mindless in quite a while. I mean, yes, technically the skeletons I'm facing are also kind of mindless, but their attacks tended to be more complex and fearsome overall. Of course, considering the amount of dying that I'm doing around here, I can't trash talk them too much. Curse that guy's good aim. Whoa. So, what's the right approach for this? I still have no idea. But maybe going around. Of course, that means fighting more enemies, because they're all over the place. But hey, at least I'm getting less bad at... I think I traded hits with a shoulder ram there. Anyway, at least I'm getting less bad at switching to two-hand mode for this. And that sure was my last extra Estus Flask use. So there's no reason to stop now. Hey, that's actually really good news, with that furniture that got in the way. But there's another archer there that's gonna cause problems. But hey, it still was possibly a chance that I missed because I wasn't paying attention. Well, specifically, I didn't specifically, right. I did not draw out an attack and dodge it before trying to hit him. Come on, get out here. There we go. Much better. I think it's reasonable to assume that those guys do not bleed. And those archers deal a very large amount of damage. I'm not even sure that they're buffed. I mean, at least the archers don't knock me into death pits. That's nice. Speaking of which, this place seems to be considerably lacking in death pits. Ooh, that guy definitely was buffed. Now, since there's no place to fall to my death, I briefly considered asking if this is still Dark Souls, but considering how the design of this room has thwarted me more times than the recent bosses, I probably shouldn't ask questions like that. Man, this is awkward. Alright, get the attack out first. Much better. Alright, maybe I can actually get the room done. Never mind, it'll have to wait till next time. See you then.